Greetings and welcome, fellow members of the Order. Let's have a look at Veterum. Right, so some time ago I received a code for this game to show off. And for some of you that may have been on my channel a little bit longer, may recognize the art style somewhat of this game, as Crasleen Games has featured on this channel before. And when I reviewed or looked at, I don't really do reviews, looked at War Banners. This game definitely seems to be a succession for that other game, sort of. I mean, it doesn't follow the story, I think, but it definitely does use a similar engine and art style. Anyway, so what is Veterum? Veterum is a full unit tactics RPG style game, similar, well, in a way to War Banners, obviously, but for other games in comparison, you control a band of mercenaries, not dissimilar from things like Battle Brothers, for instance, but they're not the same. Anyway, it's gonna be a little bit more easier to show off when we get into the game itself. As you can see, there's a couple of language options. Some of them are AI generated, so I have no idea what the quality on those will be. You're gonna have to take your chances with that if you brave yourself with doing that. Well, there's lots of good options, at least in here. For instance, in the gameplay option, you can change the random number generator that you want to use. Also, if you want to read this. Change your probabilities for injuries, give alpha per unit more health. Mechanic of temporary state attacks, which you're gonna turn off if you don't like that. Difficulty retreating from enemies, sure. Base hit chance, turn all units use on morale, and there's also several means of changing how difficult the game is. We're just leaving all these settings as base. There's also a map editor in the game. I've not tested this, but it seems to work just fine. So if you want to make your own maps, you can go right ahead. But for now, he's showcasing gameplay. So, what were you before joining the Order of Gatekeepers? This really just determines the class of the main character that you'll be portraying on the battlefield. Scribe is essentially mage, a novice is a healer, duelist is essentially your very combat person, warrior I guess would be the case, but vagrant, essentially you use dirty tricks during your fighting, which can be kind of useful. And minstrel, which essentially makes you give inspiration to everyone, and you have a bit of a mix of skills. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to go with duelist. And you can set your level of difficulty as you wish. We'll be going with normal. Continue. Now, I do warn ahead that there's going to be a lot of reading in this, because this game is very text heavy. A month ago, a star fell far to the west. Everyone felt the earth shake, including the dwarves in their dungeons. The streets of the cities were instantly flooded with false prophets. A couple of weeks later, the first disturbing news began to arrive. Turans were gathering in a horde. Soon ghosts and reanimated dead began to be seen in ancient burial grounds. My name is Edward. I'm an interrogator of the Order of the Gatekeepers. Our job is to protect the people. Launch immediately into battle against bandits. The creatures of uncertainty gnaw at the edge of my resolve. These lawless domains where shadows coil and malignant eyes gleam like fiery orbs leave me profoundly grateful for the weight of my trusty weapon. The twisted darkness is festering in every crevice of this land, exuding malevolence that my tongue can almost. Outlaw marauders are getting bolder by the day, do not seem to fear my presence anymore. A reckoning is overdue. A violent and grim reckoning. Find them who's in charge. Amidst the tranquility of this mundane existence, I yearn to reignite the fervor of my youth. At 27, one should be immersed in valorous battles, not warding off vagrant, desolate society. Thus, I ponder a shift to the serene eastern frontier, where men persist in relentless warfare, seeking the vitality and purpose that elude our quietude. Yet the master's cynicism casts a long shadow over my loyalty. I refuse to serve one who doubts my commitment. Yet the mere notion of departing this order sends shivers down my spine. But those who leave have a curious tendency to vanish without a trace. Scout's warning. Alert! Armed man ahead! Relentless outlaw marauders. Motherless bastards that no reason might have been swallowing dust for the past 5 days in this forsaken wasteland. Alright, so we don't do the tutorials. The tutorials are fine as is, but you know, just pop-up windows, not really any specific separate bit from the game. We control the map with the WSD keys, and we can control any of our men on our turn. Wish. There are enemies. Just have some regular brigands that are not particularly tough. They also have a war dog with them. We're gonna have to hurt the dog, unfortunately. And on the opposite side is our men, which are basically just regular human soldiers. Some of them have some stats. Now, the stats, of course, are very important. Health speaks for itself. There's morale, bravery, stamina, of course. This unit does not have mana. Action points. What kind of damage it does. Strength for its attacks, the range of its attacks. Evasion, which essentially amounts to how many times someone can not get hit. Accuracy of its attacks. Armor and magic. And there's also some miscellaneous stats, like the overall mood of the units, how easy it is to see as you're traveling through the lands, the daily salary, and what overall this unit thinks of other people. Like, for instance, humans, elves, dwarves, Hurons, dead, monster, and how many you've killed of each. Anyway, but before I do anything, I kinda would like you to go over here. Go pick up this cornflower dust. If we can pick that up. It's not particularly necessary for anything, but it is a free resource. I kinda want to have it. Okay, let's get my units into a position. Bushes and trees block us, so we are trying to get into a place where we cannot easily get flanked by enemies. End the turn. This should be a relatively easy battle. I have a particular thing I can do, but throwing knife is always do. Let's just let you get closer. These guys are standing near a fire, which makes them easier to see and is also easier to hit at a distance. Or in close range, but we're not getting there. Now, you don't necessarily have to get hit when you're attacked to get affected by it, as each successive attack reduces the evasion of a unit. So attacking multiple units multiple times will make it easier to hit for other units as well. Just something to keep in mind. You need to keep positioning in mind. Back here. Like for instance, this unit has been attacked once, so it loses a bit of evasion, which makes it a lot easier to hit. But these brigands are not all that scared. They can still hurt them. Like, the Warhounds are kind of annoying because they have a tendency to be able to multiple times during a turn. So you usually want to deal with these quickly. I cannot in with the... Alright, properly selected. Put down the doggy. Attack him. 4 action points to shoot, but the tree's in the way. Okay, but his morale is wavering. So they should start running soon. They will, of course, try to seek out your weakest units. Units are doing fine morale-wise. Yeah, easy battle. Here's what we gained, plus some cornflower dust. Beginning of the way. So we have our coin. Each step that we travel is a day. You should keep that in mind. Here's the entire map. This particular game that I can see. Now, I've not played enough to know where everything is or how everything works. But obviously, it's been the same every time I've tried, because I did try out all the classes. Anyway. We have a mission to patrol the neighbor area near Helmgard, which means we need to go over here. Make our daily wage. And it is also good to keep in mind, although it's probably not active right now because we are just in the beginning, that each step you travel, your troop loses a little bit of morale, which gets restored to back to normal until you reach a town. So you cannot just keep wandering about. You need to occasionally return to town to do some rest. Anyway, not currently much we have to do. We could do some training if we have the points for it. And it's also possibly good to talk about this. These stars on your unit means that it costs less experience to upgrade a particular trait or a characteristic. Doesn't make it less cheaper, because this much for a single point in strength, that's quite a lot still. In this beginning, you probably will want to upgrade either traits or your skills and spells. I think that probably the first thing I will want is breathing. For some reason looks like a mug of beer, but having a means of quickly restoring your stamina in a battle, that feels like a good idea. Now, these traits and all that are different for each unit you have. Like, for instance, the regular soldiers over here can learn parry or student. And they also have some skills and spells they can learn, like breathing or onslaught. Now, particular soldiers are probably not the best at this, at their traits. I might want to look into finding some that have better. I mean, I can't disband. I mean, for soldiers, I probably want a lot of health and a decent amount of evasion. Guys are just defense for what? For the archers, they can get some really nice skills. They can have up to 5 after all. Or traits rather. They can up to 5 skills. I keep forgetting, but anyway. mean, there's inventory items, there's throwables, yes, and then there's the skills that go over here. You can also get skills from particular equipment you can put on units, but obviously we're not in town, so I can't show that case that. Anyway, let's do the next mission. As we crossed the threshold of the village, a chorus of desperate voices rose, their anguished cries slicing through tranquil air. "Spiders, save us!" The panic screams resonated, accompanied by the quivering tones fraught with dread. We have thought of colossal spider, a grotesque spectre of nature's tremors coursing through her being. For me, there existed no creature more abhorrent than the arachnid. The notion of encountering a giant one left me paralyzed. Fortunately, these nightmarish arachnids seldom venture beyond the depths of the forest, sparing those who, like me, harbored no particular fondness for the woods. The resolute spirits we went on a quest to reveal the source of this peasant's fervent education. I get the feeling that whoever wrote this is very fond of hearing themselves talk. And they had access to a thesaurus. Anyway, we can just place our units like this, if we wish. Or do auto deployment, which usually puts units in a good enough position. Okay, start the battle. And okay, we have a spider here. They can shoot poison, which is annoying. These are monsters, of course. Old spider. This is a small one. Okay, so we definitely do not want these anywhere close to a corpse. There is one over here, so they can probably restore themselves. They can all do that. Yeah, they can. So yeah, and there's also a spider over here. And there are spiders over there. Right, let's march up. Not much point in sticking behind. Most of the spiders are in this direction, but I will send one guy over here at least. Okay. Now we do have some allies here, these farmers, desperately working to defend their home. They're not the strongest, but they will at the very least provide some traction to spiders. So in this case, a bit of a nuisance because they're getting in the way of my troops. Okay, did 4 action points for that. Unfortunate. I have no one to reach. Move up. This one goes to help over there. And we have the best chance to hit that one. Okay, everyone's moved. Turn. Spider's turn. Okay. See if we can focus on killing the big one first. Guys, I'm not great at this. Okay, I'm not gonna wait until the spiders die. I do know there's a cornflower dust over here. I'm not gonna bother getting it. It's not that important, it's just easy to get. So, spiders leave a trail of web, which is interesting. Well, at least the spiders have no greater chance of hitting me as I'm hitting them. Spider's morale is starting to waver. inflicted an injury on the peasant. And they're poisoning everyone, that is... Okay, one spider gone. Again. This one is out of stamina. They managed to kill one of the peasants. Fortunate, but just how it is. That one, please. We do have to finish this battle before the poison does dangerous, but poison is not really strong enough to do any of that. Okay. I think because of their low stamina, their evasion goes down. That is helping. Could attack the webbing to get rid of it, but not real need. We're almost done here. There we go. And we gained the Misericord. It's the blow of mercy. Okay. Finish patrolling, and there's more patrolling over here. Forest on fire. But let's first have a look at that particular Misericord. We can give that to any of our melee units. Let's give it to the main guy. Go to the forest on fire. Upon the distant horizon, an ominous shroud of smoke veiled the landscape. Even from my remote vantage point, the forest's fierce inferno raged in plain view. My breath caught as I beheld an extraordinary sight. Trees, venerable ents, slowly advancing towards us, their ancient forms animated by sentient consciousness, fleeing the encroaching blaze. The urgency of the moment weighed heavily upon me. These sentient beings faced certain peril if the fire's grasp tightened. My valiant comrades, however, hesitated in the face of this moral calamity. Right, let's protect the village. This is an actual kind of tough fight, because Ents have a lot of health. They hurt a lot when they hit. Smashing them with the blunt damage is also kind of good against us. There's a couple of barrels of gunpowder hidden in the woods. There's some webbing. Let's auto deploy because we need to. And there's 3 ends, I believe. There's one over here. Here. I think should be one up here somewhere, but I don't see it. The ends might get reinforcements. Start the battle. And now this ants cannot walk particularly far, so just the direction. We have to be a little bit careful with how we handle this battle, because our soldiers can easily get squashed by these guys. The fire will continue to spread over the course of the fight, as they're near anything flammable. That might be scripted, I'm not sure, but I think just doing it on its own. Okay. Nice to have a guaranteed hit. And obviously we don't quite have the right weapons to hurt this guy. I believe got some very blunt damage protection. So I don't think many of our weapons can really hurt him. Like piercing damage is... Set him on fire, that would be nice. Okay. Go for the full evasion for the turn. So we can get everyone in position. Everyone faces the... Ow. So he smacked me, that's annoying. And I don't think his stamina is that low, so the mercy blow doesn't really do anything. One down. And we are stunned, so we definitely be careful. Face that direction. Okay, another piece of wood got fire. Have you fall back? That barrel exploded. And I need you to come to us. Definitely want to that I set up a surround for the guy. He's being too clever about this. He only gives me places where I can only hit him with one person. That won't do. See if I can force us around. Need to do the defense. Face that guy. Target's in range. Go around them. Nice, very textbook. My keen eyes scanned the horizon. A disconcerting revelation unfolded. The forest fire erupted simultaneously from numerous points, an unmistakable sign of deliberate arson. Without delay, I resolved to convey this sinister truth to our master. Yay! Alright. Message from master. Now we need to go return to Cronenberg and relay it. Except over there. Stop in Helmgard for a bit. Source our morale. We now have a potential mission we can do, hunting for a corpse eater, which is very dangerous. We don't have a time limit for this, so we could just leave it in our bag, but we'll come back for this later. Now let's have a look at the town. I don't think I have enough training to really do anything. Let's get breathing at least. Also kind of would like the other skills, but breathing is kind of important. It does mean we are starting to run out of things we can put in here. I might get rid of the misery cord point. I don't think any of my guys have really gained enough experience to get anything useful. And I would prefer to get breathing at this point. These units tend to run out of stamina real quickly. Have a look at potential mercenary. Kinda would like this one, that's a healer. Which can be useful, but Beatrice doesn't appear to have much in the use special traits, and besides my relationship with the town is too low. We also can do some trading. Towns usually have either goods available that we need in battle, or goods we can pick up to trade with, like wool, for instance. Now, wool is cheap here in Helmgard. I might just want to pick up this bolt of cloth. Kind of expensive, but just for the purpose of doing this. We're definitely not going for hunting for a corpse eater, so let's just head for Kronenberg. We avail some new paths that we can potentially take. Let's start our mission message from Master. Bertrand de Chemelay, the esteemed custodian of the Order of the Gatekeepers, retained an unchanging presence, even in the passage of countless years. His face graced by the cascade of silvered hair endowed him with towering aspect. The master's physique, strikingly slender, led observers to misconstrue his health, for it was an appearance that bespoke fragility. However, at the age of 55, the Chemelay's mastery of the blade remained undiminished, an artistry that knew no equal. In a rare audience, the master personally received me, though his attentiveness to my report was scarce. Instead, he entrusted me with a new mission, a pilgrimage to Talavase. The governor of Talavase had besieged the Order of the Gatekeepers by aiding pulling the sinister resurgence of the animated corpses encroaching upon the city's periphery. Hey. And now Kronenberg. A couple of expensive things that we could sell here if we have them, but we don't. Okay, we also have a new mission, the Baron's Son. Yeah. Okay, so this mission is essentially that we have to pick someone with us, or bring someone with us, which is going to be probably a knight unit. That is going to be as allies, which is not the most useful, because knights tend to charge into the middle of the things. Oh, we have one over here. Our rider, we fight on equal terms with big units. They have a very slow attack. They like to be alone, although you can train to get rid of that. Some slashing damage protection, but no piercing damage protection, which is kind of important because these guys will attract every archer on the battlefield to come and harass you. Which is not great. Not great at all. They're also kind of expensive in the upkeep at the moment. So we are probably more interested in getting a healer. So I think I'll take Helena. She has some potential in upgrading her mana, which definitely will be useful. The rest of her stats are not nearly as important. So they're over here. This doesn't matter, by the way. It's just for the sake of making it clear where things are. We also could do with a Nice. Got also specialty in mana and damage strength run. So this is essentially a basic mage that can learn a lot of spells, although keep in mind, I don't know if these can swap out skills that you learn. Also some traits that he can learn, but he doesn't have them right now. So if we hire him at this price, he does come with 400 XP already in tow. We could potentially upgrade him quite a bit. And I do kind of want him. Just to see what they're training. All kind of useful to get these traits, but let's get mana regeneration. That's kind of useful. The rest I'm ready to take a leave. Get student. Swimming is not nearly as important for him because I don't want him to go to the front lines that much. Okay. And we also have a couple of other units. These guys we cannot just hire yet, but these are more heavily armored soldiers with smashing weapons, which are very useful against undead. I think these are paladins, yeah. Very useful. We also can hire a necromancer if we wanted to. I'm not particularly fussed about picking up the necromancer. It's mostly just weakening spells, curse spells, which can be useful context, of course, but for my small force, not really the most immediate use. Yeah, thugs. Need a lot of these, but they are very cheap if you can find them, enough of them. Could also, for instance, also bring a peasant with us, which is not immediately useful, but they can build barricades and dig. And they also can learn garlic, which looks like caltrops to me, but which can be useful against big units. So kind of interested in halberdiers. We are eating into our treasury quite a lot now. It's fine. Bring these. All the ranged units in the second row. So I can see where everyone is. Train you up. I definitely want breathing. Get you a student. So we can keep you learning a lot. You still have plenty of things left, so let's get a powerful strike. And your morale can be improved quite a bit because it's a lot cheaper. It also put some points into strength, but that's not really important. The morale is fine. I mean, if anything, I would probably want to put points into stamina, but let's not. I'm tempted to bring another healer, but yeah, in practice we probably don't need it. And the knight is situationally useful, but like I said, a little bit expensive. You can also do an arena fight. Baron's Son. Alright, so the difficulty level of areas does change a little bit based on what you have in your army. We are technically capable of doing 3 skull missions. So let's bring him along. And let's go do this side quest. Shouldn't be anything else here. Several wagons lie ahead, surrounded by armed men methodically sifting through scattered belongings, inspecting lifeless bodies along the road. Kelvin von Rosenkratz, donning his visor, spurs his steed and charges towards the bandits with a resounding battle cry. Little recalls I utter a soft curse and hastily follow in pursuit of the Baron's son. Okay, so we do need to keep him alive, which is why I kind of needed the healer with us. But we have no control over what he does, and he will charge ahead. Not great. So, my initial battle strategy is just lock him in so he has to take a long way around to ensure that we get to the bandits before he does. Start the battle. Now the enemy has thugs. Now thugs have a lot of evasion, which makes them very difficult to hit with anything ranged. Also a couple of peasants among here, and enemy archers. That is gonna be annoying to deal with. I would have loved to have had a paladin with me to eat all the archer shots, but alas, we do not. That's a lot of archers. Yeah. Actually, it's just this one, this one, this one. So just four archers. Definitely something I don't want to deal with. Get you here, you over here, here, and then we'll move everyone forwards. Kind of compute in the back. Because your fireball will be useful, but definitely the enemy will target your weak units. So be ready for that. And he goes around, of course. That is expected. But as long as he's not charging straight into the middle, he should be able to help him stay alive. I mean, he's not weak or anything per se, but will be targeted very easily if he just put out on his own. His health, while good, it's not great, because this is essentially the same as what my base soldiers have. Back. Back. Yeah, that was a long shot. Now, casting magic is kind of intensive. I don't think I can hit anything. I can hit over here. Alright, let's hit these two. Also turns this barrel on fire. Ah, dang it. Sure that the bandits cannot slip through. And let you distract the enemy over here. Move up, please. And let's make sure you stay in range of our beloved son. And the thugs love going around your troops. Okay, that's no use. Okay, finish him off. I have to do some risky moves. need to deal with this little bunch of bandits in the woods. Someone has not moved or has movement left. So, the healer has some left. Okay. Right, at least he can be useful. Ow, 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 ow. Stop that. Dang it. Well, this mission was always going to be dangerous. Available target. No issue for that. Now, fell down, but he's not dead just yet. You need to go in a defensive stance. And I want to save my mana to a meditation. I think that's everyone. Okay, he's starting to run out of stamina. Okay, guy over here needs help. Hopefully I can have this little group. You are out of mana. Ooh, we managed to puncture his lung, I think. That should reduce his stamina quite a bit. Archers have mostly pulled back. Okay, definitely needs a heal on this guy. My hope here is that I can cause the enemy to waver. You are still regenerating your mana, so stay put. You are out of stamina, pretty much. That's fine. Alright, broke their morale. That should make things a little bit easier. I still would like you to heal this guy. And you still don't have enough mana for a spell. Okay, you should be able to get behind and finish that guy off. Let us charge in and deal with the enemy best we can. So it is likely that most of these archers will be able to flee. As soon as they get to the edge, they will likely recover it. Okay, you're out of stamina, so I don't expect much. The guy over here fled. We have no available targets in range. What now? Still no. If chase, then we cannot see through the tree. Let's go help over here. Hey, hands of the healer. Yep, he's broken again. Heal yourself. I don't think I can get in range of anything particular. Maybe that's out. And that's victory. And now we get to bestow a medal. Gives extra mana to our healer, definitely. So that makes us financially secure again. Head over to Televez. Lavis, I don't know. There's no pronunciation guide with this. We could do the mission, but let's just a look at our people. So yeah, our guy that fell in battle has gotten some nasty wounds. Which is not great. Let's see, this town has some cheap grain and cloth. Well, cheap is relative, I guess. You can also get some artfully chainmail. Yes. I'll definitely want that. I would like some mana potion. Can't really sell the wool here cheaply. Take the cloth anyway. I that to my healer because I'm gonna likely need it more. Any mercenaries here I would like? I don't want to get rid of this guy because he's got so much points. Could just leave him in town for a bit. I'll bring him with me on the battlefield. I'll let him train for 10 days. You can also change your attitude towards certain creatures. Not sure what the benefit of that is just yet, because to be honest, I have not gotten too far in the game. I've only managed to find my way towards Dwarven lands. Which, yeah. And they are nice enough. But for instance, the Elvers, yeah, they don't like me. So I can't really get to their settlements. And over on the other side, the Torans also don't like me. So I have no idea how you're supposed to be able to recruit those units. It'll be interesting to find out. Yeah. But for now, that's the mission. On my arrival in Televez, I have encountered a governor on the precipice of desperation, teetering upon the edge of sanity. He had marshaled the entire city's cadre of guards, deploying them with a additional 50 royal soldiers, transforming the once serene city into a tumultuous bastion, gripped by an atmosphere akin to that of a siege. My discourse with the governor bore no fruits for chord. With fervor, he commanded me to traverse the formidable expanse of Volcadia, charged with the duty to vanquish any unholy undead that dared cross my path. My first attempt to elucidate that the Order of Gatekeepers remained unshackled by the yoke of the king's employment, I sought to remind him of our autonomy. His plea, however, fell on deaf ears. In steadfast defiance, we refused to render aid to the beleaguered governor, taking our leave from tumultuous Televaz. Yet our journey was far from concluded, as we were bound for dark reaches of the Dead River, guided by the mandate of our venerable master, the Tremblay, who had entrusted me with the task of aiding Televaz, despite our divergence from the governor's entreaties. So yeah, you have to deal with some undead. I don't really get any people here that I want. You do slashing damage, piercing damage, slashing damage, magic damage. I don't really know that I really get much out of this. That said, I have not yet used one of these, so kinda curious. Traits wise, get you student just because I want to level you up quickly enough. That's fine. I think I want to get mana burn for some point. Death Beam. Let's have a look at what's waiting for us here. Now, the lands here are quite dangerous, but our visibility is quite low, so should be fine. The undead from the Dead River. The banks of the Dead River lay as cursed to the rain, bound for generations by those ensnared in superstition's grasp. Yet today the peril transcended mere superstition. It courted death itself. As evening draped the land, a clawing scent akin to the saccharine decay ebbed with the gusts of wind across the desolate expanse. Scouts unveiled a formidable host of undead looming ahead. Night's swift descent, the wisdom engaging them now remained an uncertain point. Set up camp, kindle fires. This is a lot of undead, so we have got spooky, scary skeletons that apparently love everyone. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get skeletons in our army per se. They do slashing damage. We have zombies, piercing damage. Yeah, undead units do not have morale, they do not have stamina, they can go forever. And there's also this lich. Magic damage. I think it can technically run out of mana, but so far that has not really stopped any of these from being annoying, especially with the poison cloud. But other than that, I don't see anything particularly different, special. So let's gather around the fire, kids! While I would like to keep you out of this fight, I might not be able to. Now there is a danger in stacking up my units like this. Okay, just in case we need you, stand in the back. I can set some fires maybe in the edge. Maybe. No, that failed. Just let the enemy come to us. Probably within the range of our fires. because we are no good. Also, skeletons have a lot of piercing resistance, I believe, so our archers are going to be very much less effective against them. And they're out of reach for the most part. Just hold. Can create a ghost ally. A zombie. Yes, we consider that, but once they're a little bit closer. Gonna attack our barricades. There we are. New enemies have arrived. Luckily over there. Just more zombies. Not the worst. Okay. Hey, we actually set some fires this time around. Okay. That's everyone. Priests can get an attack bonus versus undead, but that's something we have to train for. Okay, let's bring in an ally. Now again, we don't have control over this, so see how useful this will be. We just stand behind the barricades. Right, they also summon the ghost. Mana for him. Oh, someone that can actually be raised as a zombie, okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna step into the fire. Need to recover much more mana. Okay. Try to stay within the range of the light. We meditate. Observe our strength as best we can. Our ghost ally is gonna fall soon. Zombies are quite tough, all things considered. Still don't have enough mana. Ooh, we managed to hurt them. Broken rib. Yeah, unfortunately they don't have stamina. That does not much, but hey, he's down. Going. We can see the lich gets in range and starts doing the annoying stuff. Oop. Breaking through our barricades, getting surrounded. Gotta make sure we keep whittling down their numbers. Oh, fireball. Did not set a fire, unfortunately, but we managed to damage them quite a bit. Get a ghost ally. So far, so good. Living on mana. Another ghost. We are slowly whittling them down, but comes a round of easy targets. The ghosts are not that tough. Let's okay. Can't really go around. See if we can get rid of these zombies. Morale is not quite good because they're finally. Stop touching my healer. Get rid of these zombies. That's much less of a threat. Your mana is getting lower. Yeah, that's right. I was worried that's going to cloud of poison. But you should be out of mana. Okay. What is your magic resistance? Quite high. Grateful targets. Let's get closer. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do much, but hey, it's better than nothing. Connect the lich. Broke his jaw. Don't have any other spells I can use on you. Okay. Last threat. Good. This, I don't think it does much. Just need to hit him. Any chance we can just hit him? For mana. Ah, dang it! Get enough for a death beam. Well, at least you get more out of this. Well, at least that solves that. But now I've got multiple people that have bad injuries. Turn to Televes. For our health, for our happiness a little bit. Don't like that he lose and the units that drop will lose their ability to drop their items they have. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. So, health potions. Let's do a holiday. Apart from spending a little bit of time just doing stuff, gives me a boost to happiness. Nothing much here that I want, mercenary wise. Deliver the bad news. News from Shinar reached us, telling of dreadfully fast assemblages of undead horrors. While disconcerting still, a detachment of the Order of Gatekeepers dispatched over a month past to probe mosquito-swamped Varas had vanished. Their fate a haunting enigma. Counted among the missing, I was entrusted by Bertrand de Tremblay with the grave charge of unraveling their mysterious plight. Astonishingly, the treasurer, stirred by an unusual benevolence, conferred upon me 1,000 coins to facilitate the rescue of our lost comrades. A level of munificence hitherto unparalleled. do a land map. That's fine. Cargo delivery, which is timed, to Shantia. Shouldn't be too hard. That's over there. Mercenaries I would like to bring along. Yeah, not likely that this list is gonna get updated any soon. Okay, is there anything that's particularly expensive here that I can? Not really. I think anyone has really leveled up in a way that matters. We get gut shots. Get that. You managed to get got damage to Psyche. That's not great. Get split armor for you. Ooh, so close. I would like to get Poison Cloud or something like that. But I should probably also get Minor Regeneration for you first. Good Traveler. Something else I want here. Students, obviously. But yeah, I think that's probably a good enough look at Veterum. New game that's coming out on, when was it? The 27th of November. And well, hopefully you'll be interested to check it out. Link to it will be in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it for now. If you would like to see more, do let me know. Perhaps I will make a full series out of this. We'll see. Anyway, that is all from me. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all. Bye. Bye.